Welcome to Lightroom In Focus. Today we will use the brush. We start with making the working space a little bit bigger. By pressing Shift and Tab, you can take every space away, and again you take them up. But I take them away, and then I press this, where I get the tools. I've already been editing this photo a bit in the basics. I've changed the white spot, the black spot, and clarity vibrance. If you want a guide about these basic things, I got it in the last video. I've also been cropping the image a bit. We start with the brush. Up at the right you get the brush. When you click the brush, you get all these settings, almost the same as in the basic module. You got exposure, contrast, highlight, so you're doing almost the same, but you can decide where you want it by brushing it into the image. You reset them by double-click each setting or double-click effect, then you reset everyone. You can also press Alt and press reset once if you want. I think that's easier. The auto mask should be turned off first. We will use it later. Here in the bottom you got size, the brush size. You can also change it by scrolling the mouse wheel. You get the feather. It's the edge of the brush where it go from full effect from the brush to no effect at all. Then you get the flow. It's like how much you paint on every time. Let's say you paint 20%, then you have to stroke it 5 times until you get full effect. Density, it's how thick the effect will be, how dense. So let's say I put it at 50, then you won't get over 50, even if you paint it 100 times. It's good to use a flow that's pretty low, because it will look better if you brush it several times more carefully. Today we want to make this wooden structure a bit more popping. Make it a little brighter, a bit more clarity, and so on. We start with making the brush a bit smaller, like that. And then we add the effects we want. Maybe some exposure, and some clarity, it's nice, and some sharpness. The shadows, I think we will take them. Then we start to brush. Oops, I got the color overlay. If you press O, you get that away, and you will see the effect. Like this. If you want to see where you've been painting, because it can be a bit hard sometimes when you don't use heavy effects, you press O. Then you can see where you are painting. And now it can be a bit tricky to paint these corners and things like that, and then we use auto mask. What auto mask is doing is that it will take a sample on the cross in the middle, and then it will only affect parts which have the same tone and color, like this. But you will see that it can miss some pixels, so if you don't need it, you shouldn't use it. A combination with the auto mask and the usual brush usually is the best way to do it. Like this. Take the corners with the auto brush, like that. Yeah, pretty good. And then you can fill in the middle with the usual brush, like that. Oops, I painted here in the sky. That's not good. Then we can erase this by pressing Alt, and you get a minus. Alt, minus. Oops. And then we just erase. Oh, my computer was a bit slow there. If you want, you can press space and zoom in. It may be easier then. And then if you press space and pull up and down, you can change where you are in the picture. And you can go around and erase if you paint wrong. Maybe some here. Oh, I didn't have the auto mask. And you can see the pixels sometimes get like this here. If you want to paint it in, you unclick the auto mask and paint it in that way. So I think it's pretty good now, don't you think? Oops. If you press O and Shift, you can change the color. Sometimes it's easier to see if it's, maybe we can have it as green. And then we press O to take it away. And now we can change this thing that we've been painting on. If we want, have it a bit more exposure, we can do like that. Even more clarity, we can push it a bit more. If we want a double effect, we can right click and make duplicate. We get really much here. I don't think it's really good. If we delete it, we delete one of the brushes. If you have done too much, you can press this little one. And here you can affect the amount of the brush. Maybe lower it, and the effect will disappear. It will take some time today because I'm recording. If you press Shift and O, you will toggle between different colors, which can help you sometimes. Yes, let's say it's easier to see when green or white. We press O to take the color away, and then we can change it a bit until we like it. Maybe some, yes, maybe like that. Get a really big ounce. And a bit more sharpness, maybe. This was everything today. Thank you for watching. If you want some special video, please tell me. Thank you. Bye bye.